Hey, come on in here, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, Shirley.
Hey, Laverne, what's going on with you, sis?
Hey, we're going to do this little quick live. Hey, come on, people. Y'all come on in. We know it's short notice. We're not going to be long, but we're going to be strong. Come on in here.
That part.
All you little bushwashers, come on in here. Let's go. Let's go.
Tap that like button. Appreciate
tap
you.
that like button on both ends. Tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it. So people will know that we're live, okay? Okay, so, all right. I'm trying to wait till y'all come on in here. But we're going to get started. We're going to go on and get started and get on out the way. Because we know that y'all about all this smoke and all that other stuff going on. All right? So listen, Mr. Keema and I were speaking on the telephone. We had a real interesting conversation. And I thought it would be a good idea for us to pop on live and hip y'all to some of this stuff. So we're gonna start this. We're gonna start this thing off, right? Hey, DT, what's going on with you? Thanks for coming through. Look at you laughing. What you laughing at?
Oh,
Look, DT up here laughing. First he was peeping, then he laughing. Look, we had a juicy conversation, right? So, and y'all see the title, right? The title is saying, get focused and stay focused. A lot of us are not focused right now, and we need to be focused. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Now, with that being said, Mr. Keema, let's kick the video. Y'all better come on in here. And if you're not in here, you're going to catch the replay, all right? But let's go, Mr. Keema, whenever you get ready.
February 6th, in the Ohio Valley and across New England, the alarm clocks rang in the dark. The coffee brewed in percolators. Millions of Americans buttoned up their wool coats, scraped the frost off their windshields, and headed out. The forecast called for snow, typical for February. But nobody, not the weathermen, not the government, and certainly not the commuters merging onto the interstates, knew what was actually coming. They didn't know that two massive, historic weather systems were hurtling toward a collision point. One was a cold, dry Arctic blast diving down from Canada.
Okay, they said, did nobody know what was going on? Nobody, not even the government. Wink, wink, let's go.
A hammer made of ice. The other was a warm, wet moisture plume surging up from the Gulf of Mexico. They were destined to meet over the Ohio Valley and explode into a meteorological bomb. The barometric pressure was about to crash to levels usually seen only in Category 3 hurricanes. By evening, the world they knew, the street signs, the fences, the familiar roads home, would be gone. The enemy wasn't a foreign army. It was the wind. It was the ice. And for the next week, America would be under siege by the White Hurricane. The storm didn't announce itself with a roar. It began with a lie. In many places, the morning of February 6th started with rain. It was a cold, miserable drizzle that lulled people into a false sense of security. Rain meant it was warm enough. Rain meant the roads were wet, not slick. It felt manageable. It felt routine. People looked out their office windows at 10 a.m. and saw gray, slushy streets. They thought about dinner. They thought about the weekend. They didn't think about survival. But the trap was already closing. Around midday, the temperature didn't just drop. It plunged off a cliff. Within an hour, the rain turned to sleet, peppering the windows.
Within an hour. So people that were actually looking out their window and saw the routine gray skies, the rain coming down, nothing seemed really out of the ordinary. Within an hour, people's lives started to change. Peep this, y'all. Peep it.
Like buckshot. Then the sleet turned to snow. But this wasn't the fluffy, romantic Christmas snow. This was heavy, wet, concrete snow. And then came the wind. The wind didn't gust. It screamed. It sustained speeds of 50, 60, then 70 miles per hour. In coastal New England, gusts hit 100 miles per hour. It was a hurricane with a wind chill of 50 below zero. The transition was so violent that the National Weather Service couldn't update the forecast fast enough. People in Cleveland and Boston reported their ears popping, the physical pressure of the atmosphere collapsing around them. The rain that had fallen in the morning flash froze into a sheet of black ice, and on top of that ice, the snow began to pile up at a rate of 3, 4, sometimes 5 inches an hour. The deception was over. The ambush had begun. The trap sprung in the early afternoon. This is where the story of 1978 turns from a weather event into a battlefield.
Go ahead, Laverne. 1978.
Okay, and right here, this happened. Hey, everybody coming in. Appreciate y'all coming. And listen, here's the thing. At this time, I was 16 years old. 6 years old. I've experienced this. And I also want to say, notice how the snow is now. You hear how they describe the snow? It was heavy. brick-like. Y'all see how the snow is? You have a lot of people on TikTok and all these other social media platforms testing the snow with different experiments, right? Noticing that the snow not melting and everything. Now, this happened in 1978. What's happening today? Let's go, Shirley.
Because it was a Monday, the schools were full, the factories were running, the offices were busy, and when the sky turned black and the snow began to blind the windows, everyone made the same decision at the same time. I need to get home. Millions of cars flooded the highways simultaneously. The result was catastrophic. On Route 128, the beltway around Boston, the traffic slowed to a crawl. Then it stopped, and then it was buried. This wasn't a traffic jam. It was a mass casualty event in slow motion. The snow was falling so fast that the plows were rendered useless. A plow would clear a lane, and 5 minutes later, it was impassable again. Drivers sat in their idling cars, watching the whiteout consume the world. They couldn't see the car in front of them. They couldn't see the guardrails. All they could hear was the wind howling like a jet engine, and the gravel-like sound of ice pelting the metal of their doors. Minutes turned into hours. The gas gauges began to drop. The heat began to fade. The snow crept up the tires, reaching the hubcaps, then the door handles. It sealed the cars in. Thousands of motorists realized with dawning horror that they were not going home. They were trapped.
Think about this, y'all. Think about if you go and find out in your state how many people lost their lives through this little storm that we had most recently, right? It's a lot of people that they're not speaking about that's lost their life in this little bit of storm.
Yep, a lot of people they probably couldn't find. And I wanted to say this too. You know, when you speak on not being ready, not being equipped for a power grid to go down, it's below 0 degrees outside. I'll even venture to say if it's below 20 outside, and you don't have any alternate plans in place, you think you can go out to your car and run the engine, when that snow get to a certain level, that car ain't gonna be able to save you. Then what you gonna do?
Right. And I want you guys to get focused and stay focused. And the reason being is because there's nothing new under the sun. At a click of a button, this could happen once again. Right now, this is only a test. Let's go, Shirley.
And remember, they said at the beginning of the video for those that are just coming in that the media didn't tell you, maybe because they didn't know. And you just had no way of knowing until it started to rain. Even when it was raining, you thought it was just more. Within an hour, things started to change and accelerate very swiftly. So keep that in mind.
And one more thing before we go forward. There was a list that came out. Everybody's talking about this list with all these major people on the list. So the social media platforms that we're dependent on today still could be I want to say jeopardized, right? Because if everybody's in cahoots with one another and they're best buddies and things like this, and they are partying and having a good time with each other, I mean, we're not going to always be in the know. So don't think because you have your cell phone, social media, Twitter, and all these different things that you're going to know what's going on. You dig? It's going to be just as surprising as it was back in 1978 when I was 16 years old. Let's go.
Are you ready?
Trapped in a frozen tomb of steel and glass. On I-75 in Ohio, the scene was apocalyptic. The wind used the open highway as a runway. Semi-trucks, massive 18-wheelers weighing tons, were tossed aside like toys. They jackknifed across all lanes, forming walls of metal that completely blocked the escape routes. The drifts began to build against these trucks, rising 10, 15, 20 feet high. Inside the cars, the psychological toll was immense. There was no Google Maps to show a red line of traffic. There was no Twitter to see if help was coming. There was only the static of the AM radio, where panic-stricken voices tried to make sense of the chaos. People had to make a life or death choice. Do you stay in the car? It offered shelter from the wind, but as the snow buried the exhaust pipes, the silent killer, carbon monoxide, began to seep into the cabins. People simply fell asleep and never woke up. Or do you walk? Do you open the door, step out into a whiteout where you can't see your hand in front of your face, and try to find shelter? Many chose to walk. They tethered themselves together with scarves and jumper cables, forming human chains, stumbling blindly toward the faint, hazy glow of house lights in the distance. They abandoned their cars, their Pontiacs, their Buicks, their Chevys, leaving them as monuments in the snow.
Okay,
Those
right
who
here,
live near the
Shirley. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do you have an escape plan if you are caught in a blizzard like this? Do you walk or do you stay in your car? Okay, don't wait till it happens to think about these things, right? Start thinking about these things right now. Start gathering your equipment that you may need and stuff to have just in case, right? You get ready. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Y'all dig. Let's go, Shirley.
Get ready. Let's go. Let me just say this one thing before we continue. Listen, at the end of the day, life is about balance. It's okay for us to incorporate some type of or level of relaxation and entertainment, the bullshit, all of that other stuff. I'm good with that because I indulge in it myself. But only do that if under and anticipate real life stuff happening, the worst case scenarios, so you can get ready, like Laverne said, so you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Point being is that make it a balance, make it neutral, make it to where, guess what, you can enjoy your relaxation and indulge in the entertainment with peace of mind, because if anything pop off, when it's said and done, do not anticipate for the government to take care of us. Do not anticipate for Mother Nature not to cut up, act up, and give a damn about, or whether you feel like the weather's being manipulated or not. That's up to you. My point being is that if it happens, are you ready?
And then one more thing I'm going to add before we go forward, Shirley. Most people do not even own a shovel. They don't even own a shovel. A lot of you all are brushing your cars off right now with the broom, the house broom. Come on now. We got to do better. Get focused and stay focused. Let's go, Shirley.
That's it.
highways became accidental heroes. They saw the headlights disappearing into the drifts and opened their doors. Strangers took in dozens of refugees. Living room floors became triage centers. People were pulled from their cars, frostbitten and terrified, and given coffee and blankets by people they had never met. But on the road, the silence descended. As the engines died one by one, the highway, the symbol of American freedom and movement, became a graveyard. As the sun went down, though you couldn't see the sun, only a gray, swirling void that faded into pitch black, the siege moved to the homes. The storm wasn't done with the roads. Now it came for the houses. The power grid was the first casualty, battered by hurricane-force winds, and weighed.
Come on now.
That's
Power
the
grid.
first one. First tragedy that happens, what they do, they cut the power off. What happens when the power go off? Everything could go left.
Everything.
See, y'all
Do you have a
understand?
battery pack? Do you have a generator? Do you have bug out bags? AKA backpacks that have all of your vital documentation in it, your first aid kit, your anything that your essentials for you to travel in so you can get out fast, so you can get to where you going in the, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to orchestrate all of that during a catastrophe, but it's already in play. It's already ready for you. So now all you got to do is like Laverne said, do you have an escape plan? Have you sat your family down and said, in the event, even though we hope and pray it never happens, just in case it does, do we have a plan? Do we have a meet-up place? If we get separated and the grid goes down, we can't text one another. We can't call one another. What does this look like for you? We cannot wait until it's too late at that point to wait until stuff hit the fan.
And right now, y'all have to look now at this little teeny storm that we just passed through, right? How many people are now still without lights? How many people? Google it. Y'all got to Google. Y'all have the information where y'all can dig this up now. Find out how many people lights went off in these different states and get that total. Okay? Think about that.
And guess what? So I will give you a follow-up question that we talked about too, Laverne, is how was your community? Do you have a neighbor you can go to in case they're prepared that they will open up their door and share their resources with you? Or are you so alienated and so out of touch with everything around you outside of yourself that now you're left to your own devices on how to survive?
And most of y'all don't even say good morning to your neighbors or wave or nothing. Act like y'all don't even know each other. But when this back in the days when I was coming up, when this happened, 16 years old, neighbors pulled together and helped one another. Listen, no man is an island. You're going to need somebody. So start making friends. If it's not nothing but being cordial and speaking. Get
Well,
that
at
done
least exactly.
today.
That's it. That was exactly what I was going to ad lib on. At least be kind, greet your neighbors coming and going, wave at them. Something is a simple wave people don't forget. So when catastrophe strikes, if they need you or you need them, you feel like, okay, there's at least a slightly open door for me to at least to be able to ask, even if they say no.
And I want to say this real quick too. I know it's a lot to say, but I'm trying to get this out because, like I said, it's really important. Okay, so I have a neighbor, okay, and we speak all the time. Him and his wife, they have a daughter. She's grown and everything. They are not friendly with their daughter, but just yesterday, I watched this gentleman come out of his house. He slipped and fell straight on his back. Now, this gentleman is 70 years old. I mean, he went down hard. Right? He was trying to go to his car. He put a plastic bag, a trash bag over top his windshields, the ice all over it, the snow all over it. He can't move. He didn't want to ask my husband and I because we helped him all the time. I just watched him. I was inside watching. And I was like, I'm going to help him if if you're not good. Anyway, long story short, he wound up calling his daughter. She came to his house to take him to the store. See, sometimes you're going to have to bow down because you never know who hands you're going to fall into. Make nice with your family members, especially if you're in a crisis or something like that, because anything could happen. Ain't nothing, when family need to get together when you're in crisis. So don't be so damn, ornery that you can't even, bow down and let the ego get out the way and say, I'm sorry, or just make fences.
How you treat people will reciprocate in kind. So when you don't need them and you see them, wave, say a nice kind word. If their mail is delivered to the wrong address, take it over to them and make sure that they know that the effort was made, that you tried to get the package to the right address. Small acts of kindness like that will go a long way because karma is for real. And guess what? There is going to come in time, even if it's not in your lifetime per se, if you reproducing and you leaving life when you leave, that will follow them. So these things matter. These things may not be important to you now, but guess what? At some point, if it don't affect you directly, it will affect somebody that's connected to you and that you love.
And it's coming sooner than later. So get focused and stay focused. You dig? Let's go, Shirley.
Amen. Oh, hey, Joy, it's so good to see you. Oh, welcome. She said, salute Laverne and Shirley, listening and learning during Katrina. The evil neighbors were sad, but helped them anyway. Mama raised me to be kind. And you, listen, thank you for
Amen, Joy.
Amen. But everybody ain't like you. So if you're not that neighbor and they're not nice, chances are that if the grace of God is not upon their life, they're going to come up short. I'm just saying.
And Dre W, I see you up there talking about some bushes gaming and then talking about some peace. Okay, cool. You can game, but keep your ears to these streets right here to hear some of these jewels that we dropping for you, bruh. Because after a while, them games ain't gonna even be out there no more. They gonna shut this grid down. It ain't gonna be long. Trust and believe it. That's how they operate. Let's go.
They give you warning signs.
Down by inches of heavy ice, the line snapped. Transformers exploded in blue-green flashes that lit up the blinding snow for a split second before plunging entire counties into darkness. In 1978, houses weren't insulated like they are today. We didn't have triple-pane windows or high-efficiency foam. When the furnace died, the cold didn't knock, it kicked the door down. Inside, the temperature began to drop. 60 degrees, 50 degrees, 40. You could see your breath in the bedroom. Water pipes burst in the walls, sounding like gunshots, flooding basements that then froze solid, cracking the foundations. Families retreated. They abandoned the bedrooms and the upper floors. They huddled in a single room, usually the kitchen or the living room with a fireplace. They hung blankets over the doorways to trap what little heat they had. They pulled mattresses off the beds and laid them on the floor in front of the fire. You simply endured. There was no choice but to survive. The food supply became a sudden obsession.
Look at those shelves. Those don't look unfamiliar, do they? That was 1978. We in 2026. And I remember going into a store 3 days ago, and there was some shelves that looked exactly like this.
And let's talk about these houses too, Cheryl. Let's back that up to the houses. Listen, y'all, a lot of y'all have elderly people that living in houses right now to this day. They probably don't pay for it finally after working all their life. Those houses are not up to par. Those houses don't have a good roof on top of it. You know, they probably have buckets down to catch the rainwater and all that because they can't afford to pay the taxes on the house and upkeep the house with the little income that they're making after they've worked all their lives. So y'all need to check on y'all elderly people that's in your family. Them old aunties and them grandmamas and things like that. They tell y'all that they're all right when they're eating cat food. So y'all need to do better. I'm just saying, let's check on our people. Okay?
Listen, for you to even have to say that or to feel compelled to have to say that, it shows us where we are as a culture, and we absolutely have to do better. Because I'm going to tell you right now, none of the elders in my family that are within my capacity to help will ever have to ask for help. I'm just saying.
And that's a blessing for them because you have a lot of elderly people. They're so honorary. They say they act like they're independent, don't want any help. They take every little penny. So we get to sometimes assume that they don't need us because they're not asking. They're proudful people. So we have to remember that they're used to working for the things that they get. And they're not used to people being nice to them because they're so busy raising children and grandchildren and great-grands and things like that and being the matriarch of the family that they know that you don't have shit. Let's be real. So that's why they don't ask you for nothing. But they shouldn't have to ask you for nothing. Take them over a basket of food or a bag of food or something. Assume, just kind of put yourself in there. But when you go buy you some eggs, buy them a dozen of eggs and drop it off. They ain't got to ask you for nothing. Let's do right. Let's do right. That's where your blessings come from. I'm going on mute.
Yeah, no, don't go on mute. That's facts. And
I'm just saying, we always assume that they're okay, And I know right now, during this little storm that we had right now, some of y'all haven't even picked up the phone and called them and said, "Are you okay?" And y'all got y'all pots of soups on, crock pots perking and stuff. Some of these people so old and ridden with arthritis and all types of ailments because the cold attack their bodies, make it even worse. They're not going to tell you they don't feel good. But they just tell you that on the phone, "I'm all right." And you just going to leave it like that so you don't have to go out your way to do something for somebody other than yourself. I'm being real with this thing. Check on your people. Check on them.
Now you want to talk about some real stuff, some real ish. She just said it. And that is so true. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, Laverne, because the fact of the matter is that we are a prideful people, whether we accept it, whether we like it, whether we can change it or we cannot. The fact is that if we know where it comes from, then we know how to deal with it and move forward. And at the end of the day, one thing that I can say that I have lived through personally on several of occasions is that catastrophe will bring unity. Why do we have to wait until catastrophe strikes before we become unified? That's the problem we have. And that's why a lot of other cultures have been able to surpass and build generational wealth, community, all of that foundation, generational communion, all of that, because they recognize how important and how imperative it is for the family to at least be able to communicate and come together when need be, and not just wait on the ish to hit the fan before we do so.
That's true. And I want to add this point real quick. I had to go into my mother's house today just to check on her. Although my brother is over there and everything, she decided because the Amazon guy came by to throw a package on the porch and he almost fell. So she goes and put a pot of water, hot water, get it boiling and put it on the stove and go out there and pour it on the steps, on the front steps. So she's thinking that she's helping. But what she did was messed up. The porch and stuff was already clean with the ice and the rocks and stuff. We know the rock salt and all that stuff. She goes and pour water on there, which makes that freeze up to make it black ice. So we had to go back and correct that. So these old people, they think they know some things because, you know, they get a little older, they get a little senile, and they do things. We still need to check on them. They may leave those heaters on and stuff. They had them night blankets and all that stuff, the warmers and stuff. We need to make sure that their plugs and stuff are right so they don't burn themselves down. Check on your folks. You got to do that.
Period.
Let's go.
Grocery stores were closed. The roads were gone. You had what was in your pantry, and that was it. It became a war of attrition. Families opened cans of Campbell's soup and heated them on top of wood stoves. They ate cold beans. They raided the freezer, realizing that the food inside was now warmer than the air outside. And the noise. The noise was relentless. The wind didn't stop for days. It battered the siding. It shook the shingles. It sounded like a freight train was parked on the roof. The house groaned under the weight of the snow.
I'm going to let it play, but I have to say this. We're looking at a video where they condensed the matter of time. Imagine being, and I'm sure Laverne can attest to this, being in the moment and being actually in that situation, and 5 minutes seem like 5 hours. That's all I got to say. Let's continue.
No.
Those 3 days, the isolation was total.
Okay.
You couldn't open your
Oh, my bad.
No, you're right, because it's true. I remember when that happened, all the heat, no electricity, no oil in the tank because you can't cut it on from the switch on the wall. We had the fireplace, but with the bed with all kinds of clothes on, 4 and 5 layers of clothes, socks on your hands. You know, you couldn't wear gloves because gloves wasn't good enough. All these different blankets, we huddled together. You know, it was really a rough time back then. And that was just in 1978. Again, I was 16 years old. And one thing else I want y'all to remember, think about who was president. It was Jimmy Carter. Think about what was going on in that administration and what type of wars were going on back then. Connect the dots. Get focused and stay focused, ladies and gentlemen.
That part.
front door, not because it was locked, but because a 10-foot drift of snow was packed against it like concrete. You were sealed in. People had to crawl out of second-story windows just to check the vents or to see if the world was still there. The radio became the lifeline. In the darkness, huddled under piles of quilts, families listened to the local DJs who stayed on the air for 24, 48, 72 hours straight. They read lists of open shelters. They took calls from people trapped in their homes. They became the voice of the storm, the only proof that civilization hadn't completely ended. But inside that struggle, there was a divide, a stark difference in perspective. For the adults, the blizzard of '78 was a catastrophe. It was a battle for heat, for oil, for food. It was the fear of the roof collapsing. It was the anxiety of a paycheck missed. It was the terror of not knowing if the car abandoned on the highway was crushed or stolen.
If you just take two of the factors of what he just said, that's enough to send a whole household into a tailspin of full anxiety and uncertainty. Just
And
two.
yeah, and you're right, Shirley. And back then, people had children. They had families of like four, like mom,
That's
dad, and
right.
2 children. So that's
Yep.
a family of 4. Imagine if you had even more than a family of 4. Our next door neighbor had 6 children. It was 6 of them when I grew up. And it was just a total of 6 children. It was 6 children and a mom and dad. You see what I'm saying? So that's 8 of them, and it was just 6 of us. But still, every mouthful, when it comes time to that, anything happening like this counts, right? And if you don't have that food in your house, you're in trouble. That's why I be on here telling y'all, grow your food, feather your nest in the summer, so when the winter come, you would have some type of backup, some substance that can last you.
And if you are unable at that specific season to grow your food, get some survival food, get some non-perishable foods, get some seeds, make sure you're storing something for a rainy day and not just dependent upon outside sources in order to put food to mouth, not just of
Right.
you, but of everybody that's connected to you. That should be the
Mhm.
first thing, like just the equivalent of water and air food should be as imperative and as important to you, to the point where even if it's just to survive and not for taste and not for palate, pleasure and all of that other stuff, make sure you
Yeah.
have something for a rainy day. Just like they encourage savings accounts, which you don't even get a return on anymore. You have to absolutely invest it into the stock market, real estate, so on and so forth. The point of the matter is the concept is exactly the same. You need to be storing and waiting for a rainy day. Even if it never comes, then that's a beautiful thing. But if it
Yeah.
does, you ain't got to get ready.
That's true. And you can go to Whole Foods and get the real food that you want to get. If you can't grow your food, you can take the same type of food that you buy from Whole Foods and can them where they will last you even longer. I got videos after videos on how you can preserve your foods, whether it be grown from the garden or whether you buy them from the grocery store. Listen, it's no excuse. Again, get focused and stay focused.
Get focused and stay focused. Let me just add this one other thing too. One of the things that attracted me to Your Thoughts before we even became, friends behind the scenes, we started collaborating before all of that. The one thing that I loved about her was that she canned, and that was one of the first videos I ever saw of hers. I don't know if it was one of the first videos she ever did, but let me tell you, I have cases and cases and cases of mason jars. And I'm slowly utilizing them and filling them and pickling foods to sustain those foods. I even have a food saver where I can take the air out, secure the lids on them so that they hold their preservation for that rainy day years in advance. Let me tell you, they can, and I've also noticed how the prices of them have escalated. When I first started buying 16-ounce glass, the glass containers of the mason jars, or you know what I mean, with the like $9 for 12 of them. You are paying almost $20 depending on where you go to look for them. And at the least expensive I've seen is 16. That's almost double in price.
Yes.
So get them now, because guess what? If you can find them during a catastrophe or prior to a catastrophe, if they are nice enough to give you notice that a catastrophe may or may not be coming, guess what? Those prices are going to escalate if they're available.
And listen, again, back to my thing. You go on my videos, I'm going to show you. You can go to the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. They have those jars there. They'll be $2 or $3. The same jars you can do it with. So there are ways. You just have to pay attention and be resourceful. Right now, another thing, if you have your heat taken off or it's cut off right now, you don't have no electricity or nothing like that, you have a fireplace. Right now, we have our electricity on. But let me tell you, the wood got wet. Some of the wood that we burned in our fireplace got wet. Here's what you do. If you have any pine trees near, get the pine cones. If you have magnolia trees anywhere near, get those magnolia cones off of those trees. Put them in your fireplace. My house is toasted right now, and I'm burning pine cones and magnolia cones right now. So it is ways. But anyway, again, back to the video, but get ready, get focused, and stay focused.
Come on with it. I just learned something. And shout out to Joy. This is why we do this. She says, I'm doing better. My brother-in-law and I started gardening. About the seeds and he's planting. Amen. This is why we do this. That's right. Yes. Everybody don't want to hear this. Everybody ain't interested in this, but you are, and people like you are the reason why we still do what we do, and we drop this information even when it doesn't seem to be the most popular time. But guess what? When catastrophe hit, we're going to get a whole bunch of reviews and replays on these videos.
Yes, Lord. Because self-preservation is the first law of nature. Everybody want to know how to take care of their own black ass. You dig? Everybody want to know how to take care of your black ass when something happens. I'm just saying. And what I'm trying to do now is to tell y'all to stay focused. Again, What sparked this live stream is Miss Akemi and I were speaking on the phone, and I was telling her, listen, this is such a deep conversation. We got to bring it to the people. We are right now looking at all these thousands and thousands of emails that was released with all these big shots on them, all these rich people names on them, people that you're saying, ooh, wow, he's a superstar, or he's the president. Listen, we don't know these people. But what we do know is how people move. We know that they had to step on somebody to get where they are today. What make you think they ain't gonna step on you? Listen, focus on your family and ask yourself the question, why? Why is this happening right now? What's coming down the pipe? Okay? What should I be paying attention to? What should I focus on? Should I focus on the names on the list and what they did? No, focus on your children. Because some of the things had children in it. Focus on where your babies is so they don't be on milk cartons. Pay attention to your family. Don't pay attention to all these fanatical or being fans and being all fanatical because you are a fan girl or a fanboy of somebody that you don't know that got money and you want to live vicariously through them. No, do you. Do you. Get focused and stay focused, ladies and gentlemen. And what we're watching on this video, it happened in 1978. I was 16 years old. It could happen again, but on a bigger level. And don't forget the diseases and things coming down the pipe too, like the COVID. Okay, I'm gonna pause right here.
No, this is information that, I think, okay, so let me just say this, sis. I'm just, listen, I'm gonna go off script. Not that we on a script, but I'm just saying as a term, we're gonna go off script for a second. And something just hit my spirit. And I just want to tell you, and I'm so glad because my friendship with Your Thoughts friendship, Laverne and Shirley, has evolved to where we both learn from one another. And it has been a key indication and a key example of two heads is better than one. She definitely has a life experience and a journey that I haven't experienced and vice versa. And we both learn from one another. But what I wanted to say, the caveat after what she's saying is that it's the mindset. It is what you focus on that grows. It is what you spend the most time doing that manifests into your reality. We are living in a time where it is becoming difficult to distinguish artificial intelligence with human experience. Only those with spiritual grounding, discernment, and humanity in God's echo and light are going to be able to decipher the difference. We are in a dangerous and a pivotal time that we cannot really control, but we can control what we do, how we think, how we move. And I love the fact that I have people in my family that depend on me, that I have people that love me, that are connected to me, that look to me for guidance. That is a huge responsibility. It is our responsibility as leaders, matriarchs, patriarchs of our family, whatever role somebody is looking up to us, somebody is looking to us for guidance, for information, for direction.
Yes.
The fact of the matter is that because there is a responsibility that goes with that role, that we cannot continue to lead people astray. I hear people all the time say, oh, the OGs let us down. The OGs did this. They didn't. Listen, let me tell you something. We can only do what we can do with the tools that we've been given in the time that we've been given it. Slavery is not that far removed from where we are. And in the times that we are living in under the current circumstances, they've tied our hands in a lot of areas, just like your hands are tied as a younger generation. The fact of the matter is that we're missing community. We are missing the willingness for some of the OGs to be able to take the time and say, okay, well, we doing this because it's the right thing to do, because we care about our younger community. We care about the people that are connected to us in culture to be able to say this type of information. And then you have just some people that just was never taught that never experienced that never came to that revelation on their own. So I just wanted to say how grateful I am in this very moment that not only am I, Miss Akimi, in my right mind, but that God has allowed me to experience life to this point to give back, even if it's just an information.
Listen, I just want to add this, Ms. Akimi. So listen, first of all, you can't keep blaming stuff on old folks. Old folks were too weak to fight. They were so busy fighting to get food on the table and keep a roof over your head, right? They ain't dropped no ball. They kept the ball long enough just to get you, just like the birds do. They feed their animals. They feed their little birdies, their little chicks and stuff. And once they get that belly full, they have an idea that they can get out that daggone nest and fly on their own. They kick their ass out the nest. Well, that's what humans do. That's what the OGs had to do. Because you had 4, 5 children, you had the children's children, your grandchildren, you had the job to try to make it, you had the master hollering at you, paying you 2 cents an hour, you worked your fingers to the bone. Shit, we was too damn weak to fight. We gave you what you needed. Now it's on you to do what you need to do for you and yours, right? And then don't forget to come back and give us a cup of water, wipe the slop from our lip when we pushed in the corner at the nursing home. Don't forget who got you where you are. Let's go. Get focused and stay focused.
But for the kids, it was Narnia. It was Hoth. It was absolute magic. School was canceled, not just for a snow day, but for a week, sometimes 2. The snowdrifts weren't obstacles. They were architecture. The wind had sculpted the snow into hard-packed waves that you could walk on without sinking. Kids didn't see the danger. They saw opportunity. They put on their snowsuits, those one-piece nylon suits that made a swish-swish sound when you walked. And they climbed out the windows. They sledded off the roofs of their garages because the snow was piled so high, it created a perfect ramp. They dug tunnels, elaborate multi-room tunnel systems through the front yards. They created caves where the wind couldn't reach them, lit by the ethereal blue light, filtering through the snowpack. To a 10-year-old in 1978, the blizzard wasn't a disaster. It was the greatest adventure of their lives.
I want to say this. They outside. They outside not just when it's sunny, when the flowers are blooming, the bees are humming around, the flowers pollinating them, the watermelons are in season. They are outside because they understood, whether they understood that they understood or not, that they were connected to nature, that they weren't afraid to go outside, that they were not disconnected from what was going on, and they could turn catastrophe into some type of correlation of how to propel them into knowledge and success.
And let's add to this too. Also, think about the parents of the children that suffered back then. Okay? For my parents, they didn't let us know there was a big problem. They didn't let us know all this. They didn't put all that heavy weight on our shoulders. Too many of you parents right now are telling your children too much of what's going on in your household when it comes to not being able to pay your bills and your struggles. They're still children. You can't take your grown 30 and 40-year-old head or older and put it on your little 6 or 7-year-old child's body. That's not them. They're having time enough to deal with that. That's your burden to bear, right? So even with this happening right now, you having maybe no lights in your house, might not have that much food because you snowed in or whatever your crisis may be. Stop putting your burdens on your children. That's not fair. Let them be able to be children and childlike. They have long enough to be grown. They have a short time to be a child and a long time to be grown. Remember that, because that was told to me by my grandfather.
And the days that we are living in, it's even shorter, because time has sped and is speeding up as we speak. At least when these children went outside, they had experiences for their memories. We got children don't even want to go outside. They're scared of outside. They're scared of slipping and falling. I used to jump out of trees and off of the roofs of houses.
Yeah, always taking chances. And here's another thing. Right now, as a grown woman, a full-grown woman, some of these children today, if I talk to like a 12 or 13-year-old, maybe younger than that, they sound like they are grown men and women. Yep. Because they've been around grown folk conversation too much. They don't know their place. And a lot of us as adults has put them in a role as children to be grown, even by conversation and what's going on in your personal romances or life and stuff. They don't need to know that stuff. Keep their heads clear and let them be children.
There is value. There's value with separating the children from the parents, especially when parents are having grown folk conversation. Because like she said, and that hit me, Laverne, when you said you put a grown person's head, I'm paraphrasing, but a grown person's head on a little child's body, it's going to topple them over. It's going to be too overwhelming. It's going to be too heavy. I agree with that. Quit telling and quit exposing your children to things that they can't control, to things that they have no investment in, that they have no business knowing about at their age. Let them be children, because I look at my youngest son just turned 18, and I'm telling you, from the time that he was birthed to the time that he turned 18 is a blur for me. If it wasn't for pictures and video clips and conversations where he has memories and then we share our memories and our remembrances, it would be even shorter. So I just wanted to say that, but let's continue. Oh, you know what, Laverne? I wanted this for you. And I hope you don't feel like I'm putting you on the spot. But Kitchi said, I came to the revelation, we have to have more children faster to have community. What you say? What say you?
Well, I don't think that you have to have more children. I just think that we need to be able to spend quality time with the children that we have, right? We shouldn't just have children just to be having children unless we think that we're capable of doing that. Which, what I mean by that is having a strong foundation, a male and a female that's dedicated and motivated to be with one another, right? So that they can raise these children together. But if we talking about having children where the daddy may have one week and the mama have on another weekend and the boyfriend in there and a girlfriend, no, we should not have it. If we cannot fix our family structure, which is the male, the female, and the children, then we need not do that, right? But just know that whatever you have, your child is here for a reason. It's here for a reason. It's not by happenstance. It's a reason why that baby is here. But what are you doing as the parent to strengthen them and to help them grow? So yeah, I'm just saying, get that foundation straight first, then consider having children.
Amen.
That's what I would say.
Ooh, yes, indeed. Perfectly said. Let's move.
They walked to the local convenience store, pulling sleds behind them, on a mission to get milk or bread for their parents. They walked down the middle of main streets that were usually filled with traffic, now silent canyons of white. They ruled the world. The adults were paralyzed by the snow, but the kids were liberated by it. They didn't see the fear in their parents' eyes as the woodpile dwindled. They only saw a world transformed into a playground of ice. By the third day, the reality of the situation forced a different kind of response. The local police and fire departments were overwhelmed. Their cruisers were buried. Their engines were frozen. The mayors and governors realized they had lost control of their territory. They called in the cavalry. The National Guard was mobilized. This wasn't a deployment to fight a riot or a war. It was a deployment to fight the drifts. It was a surreal sight. In suburban neighborhoods of Boston and Cleveland, M60 tanks and armored personnel carriers rolled down the streets. The rumble of their tracks shook the frozen ground. They were the only vehicles capable of crushing the snow. They weren't looking for insurgents. They were delivering bread. Soldiers in full winter gear rode on the backs of trucks, handing out gallons of milk and prescription medicine to elderly people trapped in their homes. Helicopters landed in high school football fields to evacuate heart attack victims. It was called Operation Snowdrop in some places, a full-scale military mission to save civilians from their own weather. But the military couldn't be everywhere, and this is where the true spirit of the blizzard revealed itself. The snowmobiles became the citizen navy. In towns across New England and the Midwest, anyone who owned a snowmobile became a first responder. These weren't government employees. They were just guys from the neighborhood. They organized themselves into rescue squads. They ferried doctors to hospitals, weaving through the buried cars on the highway.
This is why it is so important to recognize and understand the power of community. I think and I believe that the powers that be have really indoctrinated and convinced a lot of people that they're the be all and do all, and that we have to rely on them and at the same time discourage us from thinking that the power is with the people. It is absolutely with the people. And if you want confirmation on that, go through a life-altering situation such as this.
Yeah, and I want to add to this too, Shirley. Look, think about this. Excuse me. Guess what, y'all? In the community that you are in right now with all the snow and stuff, did they come to your neighborhood first or nah?
Or nah.
You can, some of y'all right now looking out your window right now can't get out your street. Can't even hardly get out your driveway. They didn't even put the snowplow in your area yet. Why is that? Okay, so nobody's going to save you but you. So get focused and stay focused on how you are going to make it and your family.
Bloop.
Carried police officers to crime scenes. They brought insulin to diabetics and baby formula to panicked mothers. They strapped toboggans to the back of their sleds and moved groceries, firewood, and people. For a week, the laws of the road didn't apply. The snowmobile was king. It was the American spirit distilled to its essence. When the system breaks, the people step up. And the neighbors. There was no social media to post a status asking for help. You had to physically check on your neighbor. And people did. They put on their snowshoes and trekked next door. If you had a wood stove and your neighbor didn't, your house became the neighborhood shelter. Strangers slept on living room floors. People shared what little they had. Cans of tuna, candles, batteries. If a car was stuck, 10 people appeared out of the mist to push it. There was no money exchanged. There was no hesitation. The adversity stripped away the superficial barriers of society. In the face of the storm, everyone was equal. Everyone was cold, and everyone needed each other. When the storm finally broke and the low-pressure system moved out to sea, the sun came out.
Just think about this, y'all. If this happened, ain't no if, this happened in 1978, y'all. Before y'all know, before we got any type of like what is it, the computers, you know, all this fancy stuff, right? So if and only if allegedly that they did this or made this weather do what it do, imagine how equipped the machine is or the tools that they have now, or how significant the snowfall could be now with the technology that we have now. Think about that. If this happened in 1978, when there was none of that we knew of, right? Versus now, just think about it. Come on now, get ready. I'm telling you, get ready, y'all. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
It glared off the blinding white landscape with an intensity that hurt the eyes. The silence was broken by the sound of shovels. The cleanup began. It wasn't just shoveling, it was excavation. It was archaeology. We dug out cars that looked like igloos, having to guess which lump of snow was a Volkswagen and which was a mailbox. We found roads that had been missing for a week. The sheer volume of snow was staggering. 27 inches in Boston, nearly 40 in parts of Rhode Island. But the drifts made those numbers meaningless. Drifts reached the traffic lights. Drifts buried the first floor of houses. And as the snow was cleared, the tragedy was revealed. The bodies were found in the cars on the highway. People who had just gone to sleep and never woken up. The toll was grim. Nearly 100 people died in Massachusetts and Rhode Island alone. The economy had paralyzed. Businesses lost millions. Roofs of arenas and warehouses collapsed under the weight. It took weeks for life to return to normal.
Weeks. And in a lot of cases, it'll take a lot longer than that. People can't go to work. Kids can't go to school. Product can't be moved from company to company via food, personal hygienic products, gas, the essentials that we rely on and we've grown to absolutely rely on from day to day. And we think that we're paralyzed in society if we don't have those amenities. I used to always ask when I was a child or when I was like, you know, in my formative years, and I was still like really just kind of like challenging everything that I had been taught, right? And I was like, okay, so we doing this now, and particularly with the hospitals and the medical facilities, the medical care as we know it in this country. And I was like, well, how do women have babies before they started having them in hospitals? And if you can't get to a hospital, does the baby actually, you know, does the mortality rate fall? I mean, like, I'm asking these questions like medicine, like, okay, so why is it that we taking medicine that doesn't really heal our bodies? It just treats the symptoms, and then it gives us a need to take some other kind of medicine. And how long have the pharmaceutical companies been in existence, and what did we do before that? But these are just questions that I formulated in my head at an early age. And it's just like, okay, at the end of the day, now at the age and the season of life that I'm in, it's about community. It's about knowledge, self-awareness. It's
Yeah.
about inspiration. It is about
Mhm.
making sure that you may not be able to serve the world's problems, but you can definitely have some type of control over the outcome of your destiny if you are proactive and you are willing to prepare and sacrifice.
Okay, so let me answer some of your questions, Shirley. And I know you know now, but back then, even my mother was born at home. She was born at home and delivered at home, right? So they had a lot of people or children born at home. And as far as medicines and stuff like that, even when I was growing up, we didn't always have to go to the doctor. I had my grandmother's, great grandmother's, great grandfather's, great grandmother was still living. They knew how to heal us. So that's a lost art. So we don't need other things and other people. We just need to get with our families and get that knowledge and pass it down to our children and children's children. That's the problem.
That's
We've become
the
so
problem.
dependent on this society to to raise us when we already know what to do. It's in us. I keep saying that. But anyway.
Yeah, but okay, sis, I'm just gonna say this. It's in us. But if you haven't been taught that, if it hasn't been passed down to you, if it hasn't been generationally exemplified or shown as an example to where it will take for you and your family, your generations to come, then if you're out of tune and you out of touch and you don't know how.
And I'm gonna tell you what you do, Shirley. It's
listening.
people like me. We out here. It's people like me.
Yes.
You got the internet now, and a lot of people are using this to get their voices out, to let you know that there is hope, that there are things that you can do to heal yourself, to make yourself happy, to live a peaceful life, to stay warm when snow on the ground like this. I told you I was 16 years old when this thing happened right here in 1978. It's people that know. But y'all, I ain't saying y'all, but I'm not you, but I'm talking about a lot of people. They don't want the information. They're entertained by who's on the list. They're entertained about the Jay-Z's and the Harvey Weinsteins and the President Trumps and all these other folks and these people with money. These people can't and won't save you. You don't know them. Every man is for him or herself. So I'm saying, don't get distracted and focus on things that are not necessary. People with arguments and shit like that, all that old ignorant shit can't teach you nothing. That's ignorant. Yes. But right now we have 12 people in this live stream. But I bet you any amount of money, if this grid go down, a lot of people gonna be scrambling, trying to figure it out and say, damn, what did Yo Thor say to what happened to her and what she could use? Somebody gonna pull back in that mental Rolodex. You better bet that to save that ass.
You better say it.
I'm on mute.
You better say it. And that's one of the reasons that I appreciate social media, is because providing that the power grid doesn't go down and people don't have provisions and they're able to, reflect back on information and videos such as this one, you'll be able to find some answers. But those that seek shall not find. Those that don't seek shall not find.
And I don't say it a million times on here that I make it a point to learn something new every day. I don't care if it's from a child. Now, me knowing already things that I already know and was already instilled in me, added to at 63 years old, learning something every day from the age of 13 all the way to now. Shit, my head about to bust open. I'm getting tired of talking. Y'all go ahead with it.
We living in an information age where I get exhausted from too much. I gotta conscientiously, I used to seek out information, go to libraries, read encyclopedias, look up words in the dictionary, have conversations with the elderly, because back then our information was limited. Our resources to seek out information was limited unless you was in the right place at the right time, talking to the right people that had that kind of information. But nowadays it's an overload of information. So now, especially when you've been in a situation where you seek out information and you're constant. So now that's part of your psyche. That's part of how you move. So now it's like, whoa, it's information overload. I really don't have no excuses. And now at the touch of a screen, it ain't even a typewriter no more, a computer keyboard. It's just a screen. You can just tap that bad boy and pull up anything that you want, providing you got the ability to do so. And now you have the answer. Now we got Chat GPT. So you really ain't got no excuses.
But yeah, and check this out, Cheryl. But here's the thing about this information. Let me make myself clear. When I say I learn something new every day, before I go seeking for anything, I seek within, not without. Yes. So when I say I seek within, I simply get still and I meditate. I get quiet. I hear what my spirit has to say. Then my spirit tells me what to seek for, because I'm only seeking to make my life a peaceful life and the peaceful people around me prosperous and peaceful. So that's the type of information I seek out. I seek out information about the animals, about nature, about the atmosphere, about the weather, about a whole lot of things like that, things that matter, about different foods and stuff that's good for your body, different herbs that's good for you. I seek out information that heals me, not information that hurts me. I don't look at the news. That's not information. That's garbage. You did?
And it's an agenda.
And that's why I say I don't like to get a whole lot of in noise in my head. I say it all the time. I stay away from in noise so that I can hear my spirit speaks to me and absorb the knowledge that I need for my food. In other words, I don't eat pork. I don't eat garbage. I eat good food. So if I'm going to eat good food and put it in my body, I'm going to put it in my mind. That's what we need to do. And that's why we got 12 people in here. We got 12 people that wants good food. I'm on mute.
And only thing I have to add to that is that some people can interpret that form of gathering information as meditation, as prayer, as, seeking it the way that has worked for you and is working for you. The fact of the matter is that there is and should be a power higher than yourself, in my personal opinion, to apply it to your life and to recognize the connection between you and that source.
It's called soul food. It's called soul food. Information that you seek, make sure it soothes and fills your soul. Period.
Ooh, period. And that's that. Let's move. Ooh. This video has almost come to its end. For those that are just coming in or that haven't watched it from the beginning, please go watch it from the beginning. You'll thank yourself. You ain't got to thank us. Just thank yourself that you are equipping yourself with certain information and history in order to, what's the saying, sis, that if you don't know your history, you don't know where you're going.
Exactly.
Or what could be coming down the pike. The fact of the matter is that Laverne suggested, she sent me the link to this video, and this is my first time watching it in its entirety. And I'm here to tell you, based off of what we just went through in the last 24 to 48 hours, this is so on time and prevalent.
And guess why you got this video, Shirley? Because I told you, I seek information, soul food. This is going to soothe your soul to let you know there's a way out. Because again, I was 16 years old when this happened. I'm 63. I made it through. You can too, if you start doing the things that you need to do and apply yourself. Definitely like, share, subscribe to this video, hype this video up so others can hear it. If you get something out of it, hype it up so somebody else can get something out.
And it don't
sharing is caring.
It don't cost you nothing. Let's go.
Snow didn't fully melt until May in some shady corners. The Great Blizzard of 1978 changed us. It taught a generation to respect the sky. It exposed the fragility of our modern systems, how quickly the highways can close, how fast the power can die, how thin the veneer of civilization really is when the temperature drops. But it also revealed our strength. We remember it not just for the records broken or the tragedy of the lives lost, but for the way we huddled together in the dark, waiting for the plow. It was the storm that buried America, but it was also the storm that proved we could dig ourselves out. For those who lived through it, the winter of '78 isn't just a weather event, it's a benchmark. It's a badge of honor. It's the story you tell your grandkids when they complain about an inch of slush or a canceled bus. You lean back, you look them in the eye, and you say, "You think this is snow? Let me tell you about the time we walked out of the second-story window. It was a time of hardship, yes. It was a war against the wind, but look."
That's so true right there, because I done told my children this story a long time ago as they were growing up about the little snow that was out there. We used to walk through the snow to get to school. I don't know what they talking about. We ain't had them school buses coming with us for a long time. Man, oh man, this is so, just looking at this as a trip, you know, and it's in black and white.
And what goes around comes around. And though things have evolved and they have transformed in some senses, when it comes to the basics, it's really the same.
Amen.
I'm just saying.
Looking back through the lens of history, it was also a time when we saw the best in ourselves, reflected in the white, frozen mirror of the storm. We survived the white hurricane, and we will never forget it.
There is such a thing as catastrophe bringing people closer together. It takes a disaster to bring people closer together. It takes discomfort and people being out of their element to look at things from a different perspective, to look at people differently, to interact with people differently, because guess what? You, like my sis say over here, is that people cannot really function the best alone. We need each other in a lot of capacities.
Right. And then guess what, y'all? Even through that storm, you know, you come closer together because you have no distractions. There's no television. There's no cell phones. There's nothing but you and your family. There's conversations that happen that should have happened at the dinner table instead of, you know, waiting till the storm to happen before you have that conversation with your teen children or your husband or your spouse or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So good things come out of the storm. And I showed y'all a video on my channel a long time ago about the snow and how some of the plants were still peeking through. You got to go sometimes underground and get dirt in order for beautiful things to grow out of things, right? So yeah, definitely community. We are better together, Joy. We really are. And you know, just pick your community. Pick the right people to be around you. Surround yourself with the right people and like-minded people. You can make it through anything. And that's my final word on that piece.
Amen. And that's a good way to end it. Is there, do you want to drop the link or you good? We ready to roll?
Oh, they can drop the link if they want to. If you want to, you can drop the link. Anybody can take it if they want to. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to drop it and then I'm going to let you take it for the next 30 seconds or so and I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, y'all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. We try to give y'all some of the conversation that I had with Mr. Keamy earlier. I know you guys, some of y'all are going through it right now with, you know, the little storm that happened. But it was a bigger storm way before then, and storms are going to come in your life. They're going to come and go. As long as you live, you're going to have some type of obstacle that you're going to have to try to overcome and make it through. But just know you'll be able to make it through, but you have to be prepared. You have to just make sure you're prepared for anything. And again, with this list of all of these people coming out, I was thinking about that, which triggered me calling Mr. Keamy to tell us some of my thoughts. Listen, we already know how this world is. We already know that a lot of these people on that list are big, powerful people. Okay, get it. We know they did some heinous things, allegedly, so okay. But we know that nobody gets where they're going to be or at that high of a level unless you had to step on somebody to get where you're going. And so all of these people are allegedly friends. They know each other. They've had some type of contact with each other and all of that. So they are already in the money and in that little bubble and doing what they do. But my thing is, what are you going to do? Where is your bubble with your family? Is your family strong? Do you have the things that you need to make it? Because you can guarantee there is more things that's going to be coming that's going to be catastrophic for you and yours, right? But you won't be as terrified knowing that something's going to happen. Just try to prepare yourself as much as you can. That's all I'm saying, okay? I want you guys to be prepared. I don't want y'all out back. Learn how to eat right. Learn how to love one another. Speak to your neighbors. Check on your elderly people, make amends with your family, your family members that you're not speaking to or have some kind of ought against. You know what I'm saying? And get in your secret closet and listen to your spirit every day and let your spirit, your conscience be your guide. That's my advice right there. And that's all I got. All I got.
Amen. Amen. I appreciate that. And I appreciate this this collab on giving this information, because though this may reverberate as familiar to some, it may be new to others. And at the end of the day, this was the whole purpose. So I don't have anything to add, and I don't want to mess up the ending.
You good, Shirley. You good. One thing about it is, out of you 12 people that watch us, if we get one of y'all to pay attention,
just one,
I am so satisfied. Okay? So
same with me.
Yeah, let's go. All right, y'all have a good one. Stay warm. Love on one another, y'all, and be nice with each other. Be nice, okay? It's okay to go in some of the bullshit, listen to a little bit of nigga noise here and there. No problem. It's fun, tee, laugh, laugh, laugh. Okay, cool. But what's going on in your house, in your community, in your little box? You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to that. Get focused and stay focused. Don't let nobody take you off of that focus, because distractions is where you fall. It's where you're gonna fall. Okay?
And distractions is well paid, and it is the original intent, because they don't want us to know what they know. And if they keep our time, which is the most invaluable resource that we have available to us, then guess what? We are caught out back. And while they got bunkers, they got airplanes, they got technology, they don't eat the same foods we eat.
Nope.
All of that, their life expectancy, they've taken a lot of secrets from our ancestors and kept them selfishly for themselves. And look at how much money, and I'm gonna be done after this, but look at how much money is invested into the entertainment industry. You have the sports industry and the sports players that are awarded so handsomely that they don't even know how to handle the monetary wealth that they are given, because it is imperative that they keep us involved and emaciated immersed. I'm sorry, that's the word I wanted to use. Immersed into things that at the end of the day, if the internet or the TV or the media or the line of communication through all of that shuts down, we left out back.
Yeah, and I gotta say this too. Hey, Cutness, thank you for coming, baby. It's okay. It's all good. You're always there. We know you in the bushes. Listen,
always.
Yeah, and we appreciate you. I want you guys to know this too. Okay, with that list, we see all these people, and we know, like I said, some heinous things has transpired allegedly, okay? And maybe allegedly has underage children or what have you. But let me tell y'all something. Take care of your babies. Take care of your children. You having children, raise them up in the way that they should go, and they should not depart from it. Do your jobs, parents. Raise your kids in the way that they should go, and they should not depart from it. What do I mean by that? They're not going to stray. They may go and do one or two little things that you be like, dang, they shouldn't have done that. They know better than that. Then they may come on back in when they get spiritually matured. But for the most part, they're not going to stray, right? If you do what you need to do as a parent in raising these babies. So that means that the people, or all those things that's going on with our babies being missing and misused and abused, right? We need to keep our children close, pay attention to them. Nothing more important than that little mini me, that mini life that we grown, that came out of our bodies, and that's look like us. So, okay, because they are us. And let me tell you one more thing, and I'm really going to end it for real. If something goes wrong and happen to your babies, don't you know that your generation ends? You want to continue to live a long life. And even after you pass, if you have children, your children carry on that generation, your bloodline, for generations to come. You understand? They're being born again once you're passed away. You're still being born again, mama and daddy. They are your most prized possessions. Take care of them, then you won't have to worry about seeing them on a milk carton or putting up flyers. You dig? There you go, because we know that there are some evil people in this world. That's
It
it.
is our responsibility. If you make the conscious decision to procreate and bring life into this world, it should be a conscious decision. Then everything that goes with that, it's like a contract. You technically have signed up to everything that goes with that. That is your calling, that is your life, that is your responsibility. Everything else is secondary, period. Even when it comes to you. And I think that's where we got it messed up at. Culturally, it's like people are incentivized to have children for reasons other than what it's supposed to be. And that's where we have, and it's sad when you have children that come up missing that are never found, and you don't hear about that as the public until years and years later. And as a parent, I can't imagine another form of hell that is more torturous than that, than to procreate, bring life forth, rear, spend time, bond with that child, only for them to disappear, and you go years and you have no closure.
And you know something else, Sean, I thought about this. I'm thinking about this right now. There's no knock on no one that's receiving benefits for their children. You know, like SNAP benefits, or they get a once a month check for their children. But let me say something. I find that to be insulting. That's just me. Not for you parents that has to go through this and go through things. But you can't tell me my baby, one of my children, are worth $150 worth of food stamps and a month, and you can't tell me that one of my children is only worth $300 a month just because they're my babies, because I apply for government assistance. No money can pay me for what my children are worth. So I will work my fingers to the bone, and have done it until the day I die, because I brought them here. They are my responsibilities. I am mama. You understand me?
Beginning, middle, and end.
So we might need to rethink some of this stuff. So to me, it's insulting for them to be telling me how much my baby is worth to them, and they're gonna give me that much to raise my baby. I'll be damned. Okay, then I got to go off if I say something that's gonna shut everything down. So okay, y'all, peace be unto y'all. Stay warm and stay, and keep your heart in the love posture, right? Love thy neighbor, okay? We love you too, actually. I love you too. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you listening to the old girl. But sometimes I have to just say what I have to say. And me and Mr. Keamy, like I said, we had a beautiful conversation. I said, Shirley, we got to bring this to the people. Fuck all that.
That part. And I concur, and I'm glad we did. And I hope that those that are watching live and those that catch the replay get the value that we were intentional and we felt heartfelt about.
And Shirley, and I want to say, Shirley, you said this to me on the phone, and I know you don't mind me sharing this. Shirley said something to me like, well, what if people don't want to hear? Would you say something like, people don't want to hear? Some people may not want to hear it. You said something else, and you was telling me all of the reasons why people may not receive what I'm saying or what we're going to be saying to them, right?
Because of hopelessness, because people feel, okay, well, maybe we don't have the means, the resources, or the finances to be able to accommodate the suggestions that are being given to us. And then what do you do? So do you listen to it and become anxious? Do you become feeling like, or you grow and feeling in despair? Or like, how are people that really just don't feel like they measure up or have the ability to be able to protect themselves, to protect their loved ones, to prepare, to equip themselves with the resources?
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. And basically, I said to Miss Akima, these words I was saying to her, just start by doing small steps, speaking to your neighbor, opening up to your family members that you're not speaking with, show yourself to be worthy and vulnerable by going checking on your elderly people in your family, just going to sit, bring them a loaf of bread or a dozen of eggs. And then I reminded Miss Shirley, Mr. Keema, I reminded her, everybody didn't make it across the Red Sea. Everybody didn't follow Moses when the Red Sea opened. Everybody didn't follow Noah when he got that ark together and built the ark. Everybody ain't gonna make it. We're just speaking to the people that has like a little thing in their mind that said, something going on. And they keep on going and getting distracted and not and out of focus. I'm trying to get you to refocus because your spirit is speaking to you just like mine speak to me. You know something going on. So now what you gonna do about it? You're gonna get focused and you're gonna stay focused on your family and your loved ones. That's the reason why we're bringing this live stream to you.
Facts.
And there you go.
That's facts. And I was gonna ad lib, but I'm gonna leave it right there. That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop.
We love y'all. Thank y'all for coming, everybody. We really appreciate that.
We appreciate y'all. For those that are watching it live, coming in for the replay, if you would, it's free. Just tap the like button. We don't go live every day. We go live either individually or collectively when the spirit moves us, or when we have something to say. And for those that absolutely know the nature and the rhythm of our content, they know that's how we move and they accept it. For those that don't, get on board, and just know that when we do come, we're gonna bring something of quality and something you can use. We appreciate y'all.
All right, bye y'all.
All right, take care. Peace.